r/AskReddit. What is the most disgusting secret you're hiding right now? We had a candy corn counting contest in like 4th or 5th grade where you guessed how many are in the big jar when no one was looking. I carefully took the tape off the top thinking I was going to count them all or something and saw that they had written the total on the inside of the top, so being a genius I took out about 30 of them, ate the evidence and put my guess in for the number -35. Yeah, I know. So it wouldn't be suspicious if I got it on the nose, not realizing they weren't going to recount them. The winner guessed it within 20 of the number on the bottom of the lid. So basically, I cheated, sabotaged and still lost, and I kept all that stupidity to myself for all these years. A majority of the time, the voice in my head/first thoughts are just really unnecessarily mean. Towards myself, but especially others. Even those I care about. Extremely nitpicky, selfish, rude, etc. thoughts. I don't understand why. Sometimes it leaks out into the real world on its really bad days, and I'm just an ass. It makes me feel pretty bad about who I'm as a person sometimes. Because I really just want to be a lovely person and think the best about others. And I don't feel like a good one very often because of these thoughts. I guess maybe op meant nasty equals disgusting, but it feels disgusting to me some days. Edit. I truly appreciate everyone's suggestions and information. Thank you very much. When I was 8, my 19-year-old cousin tried to make out with me. I remember him rubbing my leg and kissing me in the kitchen whilst my mum was in the living room. I didn't understand what was really happening at the time, but I knew I didn't like it. I kept nervous giggling and pushing him away. After a couple of minutes he looked disappointed and walked away. I don't remember if he ever tried anything else. He was killed in an accident 3 years later, and I chose never to tell anybody as I didn't want to add to my aunt's grief. Edit. Oh my gosh, I was not expecting such an overwhelming response. Truthfully, I never realized how much I needed to just get it off my chest. Thank you all so much for the love and support. It really means the world. Edit 2. My cousin was not named Fire, and he didn't die in a fire. I'm just a redhead. My one friend has no idea that I've known that he doesn't have kids for months. Also that I know he's been saying this and lying to everyone for attention. He tells a very convincing story. He goes into vague details, has a photo of the girl, says that she's been showing him fake paperwork as proof for the children. If what he says is true, would be literally extortion. Everything. Little does he know that I've been watching closely and also researching to find this woman. I know she isn't real and that he's lying and been lying this whole time for almost a year. Nothing he says makes sense and it just keeps escalating, which also doesn't make sense. I literally couldn't help myself but investigate. If everyone finds out that he's been lying this whole time, it will spread like wildfire. He doesn't have many friends and the friends he did have stopped talking to him because of his compulsive lying. Edit. Holy crap, this blew up. I'll try to get to as many comments as possible. During lockdown, my sister had a meltdown because she thought I had stolen a pair of nail clippers shaped like a foot that she owned. I told her, truthfully, that I also had a pair and that she had stolen mine. They actually were hers. I found mine an hour later. Rather than tell her, I gave back hers and said, if they mean so much to you, you can have them. I then hid mine in her bag. When she went back home after lockdown, she got there and found the 2 nail clippers and now believes that she was wrong and that the nail clippers she had a meltdown over were actually mine. I made up a person. When I was in high school, I wanted to sound more popular, so I made up a guy friend. He had an incredibly interesting backstory. This went on 4 years, well into college. I had the same friends, so I couldn't just end the charade. The funny thing is, all of these people, my family, my best friend, even my husband, believe that they met this man. I never introduced them to anyone, but over the years, they all have different memories of seeing him. Finally, I just sort of phased him out, saying that we grew apart and lost touch. And yet, people will randomly ask me for updates on him. I just give vague answers and watch my husband smirk from across the room. My husband is the only person who knows the truth. I'm so ashamed that I will never admit it. That lie was such a dumb thing that snowballed. I was molested and raped for like 5 years by me neighbor and went on a mission to convince myself I wanted and loved sex in a sick attempt to take back power, but just ended up letting other older men abuse me for most of my teenage life. I got addicted to drugs, and I still feel like a 10-year-old boy, and everywhere I look lately I see me as a kid. In the reflections of windows on the black screen of my phone looking out at me, and horrible nightmares, it's like my mind has finally snapped. I can't even brush my teeth in silence, because it feels like 100 voices are in my head screaming at me, and my hair has started falling out in lumps. I don't know what to do. I feel like a diseased animal, but I don't know what to do. I don't know who to tell, or how to even begin changing and becoming the man I should have been. My life is ruined, and I don't know how to stop self-destructing. I just wish it never happened, and that I could be the boy I once was, before he ever touched me and ruined me. I dropped a human brain once in prep class, and put it back like nothing happened, and everyone was wondering what kind of head trauma that person died of. Edit. Holy shit, I didn't know I could make so many people laugh. Thank you for all the upvotes and awards. That is really not necessary. I figured I add the specifics here quickly, because I'm a little overwhelmed with responding to so many comments. I was a TA, teaching assistant, to the professor for human anatomy and preparatory class. Part of my job, I studied biology, and am a trained preparator turned mortician, and am specialized in reconstruction, was to prepare donor bodies for upcoming classes. I would receive specific orders from the professor, what kind of grossing tables, which body part, what kind of class, etc. I'm not a MD or even thought about being one. I'm just a basement dweller that makes a living off death, and I'm grateful to do so. Uncle confided in me that he stopped taking the medications that are keeping him alive because he can't handle the weight of his life. Currently trying to be there for him as much as I can, but haven't told anyone because I feel like it's his choice, and I'd likely want the same in his situation. He's just worn out and feels like he's done his time and has already done what he can for the people around him. A buddy of mine had a wife that used to be a stripper. She ended up leaving him for one of her patrons. Before she left him, she was impregnated by him, my buddy. She ended up marrying the guy she left him for, and the newish dad is basically raising his kid. I'm still friends with both of them on Facebook, since I was cool with both of them, and her son definitely looks like him. This was maybe 7 to 8 years ago. I just shut the duck up about the whole situation. My mental health is currently driving me crazy. I'm not sure why I can't just get better. I'm in therapy, I'm studying for my bachelor's in psych, and I'm generally knowledgeable about mental illnesses, yet I still can't seem to get myself on the right track. I've been hitting myself lately when I'm angry or anxious for stress relief. I was sitting in the car the other day just thinking, and envisioned myself banging my head on the window over and over till it was bloody and broken. I don't know why. I'm only diagnosed with anxiety. I haven't told my therapist and I don't want to. I always have this fear that no one will believe me or they'll think I'm faking. I've just been keeping it to myself and hoping my new prescription will help my anxiety and in turn make these feelings go away.